Any advice for handling my first breakup? I 23F am very close to breaking up with my boyfriend. I've seen too many red flags. Although I like him so much, and I really don't want to do it, my gut is telling me it's better to let it go. I've never broken up with someone, or been broken up with before. I could use some advice on how to do it maturely and gently. Also, any advice on handling the post-breakup? I am not looking forward to feeling so lonely after speaking to someone every day for 6 months and letting them know me so much. 1. Don't let them guilt you into staying. Red flags are red flags. 2. Don't do it over the phone. It's rude. I know from experience. Oops. 3. Be honest. Say why you leaving. Make sure he doesn't have access to passwords, keys, personal information. If he does, change then as soon as possible. Letting him know that why you breaking it off may help him improve for future girlfriends. Good luck. For the breakup, be clear and direct. You are not taking some time to think about things or needing to step back from the relationship or anything like that. You are breaking up with him permanently. Trying to use verbal gymnastics to try and avoid saying the harsh phrase leaves him with hope and just drags out the pain for an extended period. Rip off the band-aid. It is the kindest thing you can do. If you want to throw in some "it is not you, it is me" or whatever, that is fine, but make it clear that this is a breakup and not a break. For the post-breakup, I find that getting drunk and passing out on the bathroom floor helps. Well, maybe not helps, but it was my go-to move when a relationship ended. This is such great advice. If you feel the need to be gentle, you can. Do the constructive criticism thing, where you sandwich the bad thing between good things. I have loved this about our relationship, but this has run its course for me. I have made up my mind about it, and I want different things for myself right now. It is going to hurt to hear this, but things is a deal breaker for me. You solving them is not what I want. What I want is to separate. But think about those things in the future, because there are still things I think are great about you, and I think it could help you show up for a future partner better. What is going to happen is, he is going to try to trap you in a web. It could be a web of control, bargaining, pity, whatever his thing is. Do your best to breathe through it. Do not engage with the bait. Just repeat your decision. I have made up my mind about what I want for my life right now. Then try to get space. Tell him you need some days to not communicate for now. Grieve if you need to. Getting drunk might help, as OP said, but clear and firm is key. Not falling into the web is key. It is going to hurt. Let it hurt. That is what is supposed to happen. Do not try and ignore what you feel, and do not get into another relationship until you are over him. Tell him how you feel and why you want to break up. Do not be mean. Do it calmly. Make sure you let him say anything he needs to say too. Just be understanding on his side too. But also do not let him sway your decision, since you are not feeling content and okay with this relationship. Good luck. You got this. You deserve to feel loved and safe. ID go straight to zero contact. I made the mistake when I was younger of trying to stay in touch. Remove temptation. It is being cruel to be kind to him. Failing that the rule of thumb when meeting an ex you don't want to end up having a fling with it, never at night and never with alcohol. As someone who has been on either end of the breakup and has been in many relationships, here is a good breakdown. Rule 1: if at all possible, for the love of God, do it face to face. Getting dumped sucks. Getting dumped over the phone or via text sucks way worse. No matter how upset or pissed at you he gets, at the very least he will be able to look back when one of his buddies inevitably gets dumped over the phone, ghosted, and go, well, at least this sad boy 3000 never did that. Rule 2: give him a specific, non-accusatory reason that you are doing it. Nothing sucks worse than being dumped and not know where the duck it came from or why the duck it is happening. I do not think we are right for each other is too vague, and you are too controlling, manipulative, insert unflattering adjective here will put him on the defensive. This is especially the case if things have been going relatively well up until recently, or if within the last week you have said the words "I love you" Think of a specific example you can refer back to that makes the breakup make sense. For example, I broke up with my high school sweetheart who is now one of my best friends by telling him I did not think long distance after high school was a good idea or made sense for either of us. And that even though we still had the rest of our senior year of high school to go, I did not see the sense in delaying the inevitable and putting on a good face continuing on in a relationship when I knew we did not have a future. It sucked. Those first few months post breakup definitely were not fun. But he has since told me he respects how I handled it and is glad that I did not string him along. Rule 3: do not give him any false hope. Make any promises you do not intend on keeping. I hope we can be friends is a line you should only say if you genuinely want to be friends. Same goes for now is not the right time, or maybe things will be different one day. Those words will inevitably come back to bite you in the ass. And it is very easy in the heat of an emotional moment to write emotional checks you cannot cash, if you know what I mean. Finally, rule 4: no matter how close you guys are right now, how much you care about him, and how much you miss him once you guys are over, give yourself some space. Do not text him, do not call him, and do not keep that line of communication open. Give yourself at least a minimum of a few months without any contact. You do not necessarily need to block him or take him off of your social media, but definitely do not go out of our way to see him or have a conversation with him if you do not have to. It takes time. Depending on who you are, that can mean many things. Start putting what makes you happy first. Try dating yourself for a bit. Go out alone and do something because you want to and makes you happy without anyone else's validation. It's gonna hurt. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it gets better. As far as how to do it maturely, you should be direct without being mean or attacking. Clearly word that you don't want this to continue. Gently is another story, because this is an emotional situation. And even if you go in with the best intentions, it has not always received the same. Don't put them down, but rather state facts if needed and be strong in your resolve. End it with closure. If you can, look to friends for support and socializing. My best advice is to completely cut ties post breakup. Don't fall into the many traps that lie in wait with post breakup contact communication. It might seem like an asshole thing to not be friends, friendly, or whatever post breakup, but it is really important to have and stick to a clean break. You do not need to do all the morally advised things in here. Breakups are breakups. You cannot stay with someone on good terms by saying that you do not want to be in relationship with him no more. So do not sugarcoat things for yourself. Both sides will get affected either way, and probably one side is going to get affected more. Secure yourself first with all the passwords, and be sure that there is not any foul photo of you, your face included on him. Tell him that you want to break up, preferably face to face. If you want to be honest, tell him the real reason. If you think he will do not want to understand you, just say something that will help you to slide from that situation as quickly as possible. Live your life. Good luck. First, you are doing a great job for putting yourself in first place. A lot of girls stay with boys with so many red flags and end up in a toxic relationship. Be honest with him and do in person. Cut contact with him. Do not go on traps. Just cut contact. Listen to sad songs. Cry and take your time to heal. Best advice for afterwards is do not cut them out completely. Converse with him, but in no way say anything that might make him feel you guys have a chance to get back together. You will find this will allow him to get over things slowly whilst also feeling like he can talk about how he feels. Then eventually he will move on. Just what I would have preferred when I had a big breakup around the same age. I felt lost and betrayed due to being completely cut out and ignored after the breakup. Talking would have helped and allowed me to accept and move on, rather than the absolute despair I had being broken up with and being left completely alone. The biggest thing for after the breakup, it's gonna suck and you're going to feel horrible and shitty, but you have to let yourself feel it. It takes time, but you will start to feel better. And remember, in the future, if you start thinking of all the good times, there is a reason you broke up with this person. I also wouldn't recommend staying friends. Support yourself during this time. Talk to friends. Do some solo activities you love in order to get through it. Be honest about your feelings. Be direct and firm about the breakup. Do not use soft language, like I'm not sure about this relationship. Instead say this is not working for me, and I need to end this relationship. Take personal responsibility. Do not blame. There could be doubt or temptation to get back together. Do not. Give yourself at least a month before making any kind of relationship decision. Come up with a plan for how to proceed getting your stuff back, new boundaries, etc. And communicate with them what that plan is to them. X. I need my sweatshirt back. You can drop it off at my house next week. I need some space, so I would not be talking to you for the next 2 weeks. Good luck. It will be hard, but you can do hard things. You are brave, and you will be okay. I am sure others have mentioned it, but be firm, clear, and whatever you don't try to stay friends. I was really naive to the dating scenario, super strict parents, and my first boyfriend was your typical nice guy. It wasn't love at first sight, and I actually wasn't interested, but felt pressured. 6 years later we re-engaged, and all I felt was anxiety and stress. Red flag number 1. I finally break up and faced pressure from him, his family, my family as to why I was leaving this nice guy. I again felt pressure to remain friends and work it out, but I knew deep down I wanted out. It dragged on for a few more weeks, and I finally just stopped taking calls and meeting with him. I don't recommend to be gentle or too nice as you lines send mixed messages. Be direct. Everything will pass, and you lines be fine. Good luck. I disagree with the do not stay friends advice. I have stayed friends with almost all of my exes, and though I have been with my wife for 37 years now, many are still friends. They have enriched our lives. If I had not seen them as extraordinary people, I would never have dated them. There are few enough wonderful people in my life that I think it had sucked to cut them out. I'm in similar situation as OP, but what I'm afraid of is that he will react in manipulative way, saying things as you do not want to be with me because I'm not handsome, rich, good enough, and other low self-esteem things. What to answer on this kind of statements? Otherwise, I try very hard to stay as calm as possible, not changing tone of voice, being assertive, and if possible, do the conversation somewhere private. This is not as much advice as encouragement, but some of the favorite years of my life were right after my first big breakup. I had spent every spare minute of ages circa 16, 19 with a girl. Those are some huge developmental years, and I had no idea who I was anymore as an individual. But I had a great time meeting new friends, trying new things, and rediscovering who I was. It is best to do it as soon as you know it's not going to work. I stayed with someone who I knew I should not have for many years just cause I wanted to be with him. He is much worse than he was when I met him. He was not great, but now his worst personality traits are amplified 10 times over. I never held myself back for him though. I went to school, got a decent job before COVID. I still love and care about him despite his flaws. We just can't be together. I would just have a face-to-face if you think he is mature enough to handle that, or do it over the phone. There really is no best way to do it. Just tell him it is not working out and you are both better apart. Let go of things that remind you of him. Love yourself before you love or find anyone else. Be okay with being with yourself. Take long drives and listen to music you like. Exercise regularly. Find a new hobby. Avoid places you used to go together. Avoid conversations where he is brought up, and refrain from bringing those conversations with mutual friend. You are in a position of great learning opportunity. Congratulations. Play it well, and you will make it through to the other side with newfound confidence, self-understanding, and a new perception. My advice to you: trust your gut instinct. As an older individual with much experience with relationships, I can tell you that your gut instinct is always right. While it may be hard to get through the loneliness and what if stage right after the breakup, you will look back on the situation sometime from now and thank yourself for honoring you. Know that it is perfectly okay to make harsh decisions regarding others. You will come across similar situations many times in your life. The first one can be the hardest, simply because you do not yet know firsthand how these things go. Being broken up with sucks. It can be hard for both parties. Be empathetic, but stand your ground firmly. Let your boyfriend know that you feel you need some time to discover yourself and learn about the world before committing to a serious relationship. Tell him that you have enjoyed your time with him, but you need to do some self-discovery and inner work before a serious relationship can feel right or healthy for you. If he reacts in an emotional way, let him know that you honor his feelings and request that he honor yours. If he reacts in an angry way, this is definitely a sign that the relationship was not the right one for you. If you feel unsafe or threatened, remove yourself from the situation immediately and seek out the company of a trusted family member or friend. And I cannot stress this enough, stand your ground. Even if his emotions bring up sadness or regret for you, and especially if you feel threatened, the best thing you can do is keep it short and sweet and immediately cut as much contact as you can so that both of you can move on successfully. Alcohol may seem like a good idea, but it just makes things worse. Work on yourself and get your mind off of the breakup. I repeat, do not try to fix things. It will just prolong the hurt. As Ed said, I'm not gonna kill you with cliches, but it is not the end of the world. Definitely botch that quote. After you break up, have some compassion for yourself too. I used to feel bad for feeling so emotional. Just let yourself go through all the emotions and take care of yourself. Treat yourself like a friend and remind yourself that you could find someone once, so it is bound to happen again. There are millions of possibilities out there for you. I-19F cannot offer much in the way of actually doing the breakup, as I was never the one breaking up with the other, but I did like to say a few relevant things and provide post-breakup advice. Firstly, I did like to say, a lot of these responses are stating to be firm and do not let him pull you back in. And they are right, do not. That said, maybe a controversial take here, but if you have reasonable doubt within yourself that this is not something you want to end, it is not too late to reconsider. The reason I say this is due to my wife and I's history. Before we settled in, she had broken up, not in the traditional sense. I suppose a couple times with me here and there, before realizing I was her twin flame. Over the course of those periods, I took the time to improve myself with her criticism, eventually winning her back. We are now happily together and finishing our lives out that way. I did like to mention that this comes with a caveat of sorts. It is all about your feelings. In the case of my wife and I, most of the issues were not even about the relationship, but Marizo, her personal stresses with school and home life. I still had growing to do to help her, but I suppose my point is, if you do not feel that he is the one for you, and that even post-growth it would not work out, do not try it. The majority of the time it will not work how you hope it will. If you do, you only have one twin flame. After all, and a lot do not ever find this. As far as how to handle the post-breakup, give yourself the time to handle things the way you need to, but do not let it take over you. Grieve for a few days if you must, and after that start doing things. Connect with friends, practice a hobby, go out and enjoy nature, whatever it is that you want to be a part of your daily life. Additionally, make sure to fit me dates. Why no, really diving deeper and discovering yourself. Even if you think you know all of it already, you will learn a lot that way, both for future relationships and for your own self. Lastly, take a break. I know it is hard to not bounce into another relationship, as you are currently used to that emotional intimacy and miss it. But it is never a good idea to hop into another relationship while still processing your last one and its aftermath. Twin flame, a sort of religious thing, primarily Christian, that basically represents a much deeper connection than a soulmate. On the basis of soul frequencies, I'm agnostic and believe it. So even if you are not Christian, check it out, be cool. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.